I'm back with another project. This time it is a home decor project. And I think we all have Ikeas in our locales where we live. I know they're in Europe, they're in the US, I think they're in the South Pacific. But if they're not, you can still do this project adapting it with something that you can get from the dollar store or something like that. So let's get started. So we are going to be making this 3D project, 3D sort of home decor project. And it's multi-layered. It's there's 3 layers. This is on the outside. Sorry, the rhinestones are on the outside. It's really got texture to it. And I'm going to show you how to make it. And the best thing about this project, folks, is that it is this frame in Canada, and remember, in Canada, I think prices are more expensive than the rest of the world. Maybe Australia is similar. Is only $2.99. So this frame at Ikea is only $2.99. It is called. I went during the week to get another one. I made this a couple weekends ago. I wasn't sure if I had an idea, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work out. But when it turned out as well as it did, I ended up wanting to do it for today. So it is called a ribba frame, and it's a 13 by 18. So that's why I said that metric or imperial, or it doesn't matter. It will work just the same. So let's get started. And what I love about this frame is that when I show you, actually this one did anyhow, it has two mats in it. So what I did was I built the mats up with dimensionals. So we're just going to take the back off of here, like that. And this is actually not even glass, it's just plastic. And we'll take the cover off that in a bit. Oh, so ripped off. Sorry, guys. So when I bought this frame, I had 2 mats in it. So it must have been an error. So now I'm going to have to rework this so that I'm only using 1 mat. But that's okay. We'll get it working. We'll make it work. Yeah. If I take this apart, you'll see that there are 2 mats, and I actually popped 1 mat on top of the other. I should have taken this one apart to see if that was a fluke or not. I thought it was kind of like, wow, that's a great deal, but okay. So I've taken a piece of the, just gotta get my pieces out here, of my Misty Moonlight Designer Series paper, and I'm just going to glue it down like that. You can make it smaller if you want, because this is going to go on top of it, but I just want to make sure that it was nice and secured down there. And I am going to use the Tombow glue. Oh, so that ticks me off that it only had 1 mat on this one. Oh well. So we'll make it work though. And I didn't put any glue in the middle intentionally, because sometimes when you put the Tombow glue in the middle, it kind of, you can see it kind of bubbles. So the one thing I did check was to make sure that I have this standing, so that this stands up right, so that the Designer Series paper, there's an obvious directional to this, and I wanted to make sure it was going in the right direction. Okay. Okay, so I have to rethink this as we're going. That's okay. So I'm going to put this here. What I'm going to do first is I have die cut out one of the trees, and I am going to take, I've got to get all my pieces here. Okay, so I've got a piece of adhesive sheet, and I've got some of the silver paper that was from the Whimsy and Wonder suite. And I'm going to, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to take the adhesive sheet and put it on the back of this. And you'll see that that was the paper that I used in the last card as well. And I'm just going to put this here like that. And I am going to run this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I've got it right here beside me. I've got the big one here, so you could use the little one too. It would go through just as well. But ignore my really, really messy plates. You could use the silver foil paper as well. I really liked this this paper because it has, when you run it through the Big Shot, you kind of get a little bit of the white, a little bit of the silver, and it just looks a little bit more like tinsel than it's just a solid silver piece. And let me put this on the table beside me, which is also known as the floor. And I'm going to, you can save this and use it for little baubles or whatever. There's still some left in it. And I've done it like this just because it makes it so much easier when you are putting this on the tinsel on the tree to have the adhesive behind it. But now I've got to make, my eyesight's not as good as it used to be, so I got to peel the adhesive off. Oh, here we go. I didn't do a very good job because I'm going to have to put a little bit of the Tombow glue at the very bottom because I missed it with the adhesive sheet. Actually, I'm thinking either I got a bonus with my first frame or I got ripped off with my second, so I'm not quite sure which way it should be. Okay, I kind of stretched this all out, but we'll make it work. There we go. And you'll see it how it's got the silver, the foil, and the white together. So it really looks pretty together. I think, I don't know, the solid silver would have been nice too, but I just like the contrast of the two colors. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. And what I'm going to do, I can get this done now. I'm actually just going to put this like that, and I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive at the top, at the bottom, and a couple pieces of adhesive at the side. Then when I assemble it on the frame, I'll put some dimensionals in the middle so that it doesn't sag, no saggy bottoms. Like that. Okay. And you know what I'm going to do? So because I'm missing a frame, I'm actually going to put dimensionals underneath this so that it's popped up. So I have more depth. That's the word I'm looking for. So just bear with me while I break out the dimensionals. I guess you could use the sticky strip too, but I think that might be too high. And then you might not get the back of the frame on in the back in the frame. The back might not go on properly. Okay. I told you I'm winging this now because oops. Didn't do a very good job with putting adhesive on the top of that tree. Actually, this might be easier than the first one I did because I had to play with elements to go in between the two frames. Okay, and now I'm going to put some dimensionals on here. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'll see something and I get an idea. And it's like, oh. And then I went to Ikea, and then it's like a candy store for kids. Like there's so many things that you can get at Ikea, and you can look around and see of all the, especially the home section at the in the basement. Anyhow, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so now I'm also have die cut out a bunch of these trees. These probably are my favorite thing in the catalog. I mean, out of this suite are these trees. I love them, and I'm changing it up a little bit. On here, I put a big one, a big, a little, and a big one. I'm going to put actually 3 big ones at the back. There we go, 3 big ones like that. Okay, and what I've already done is cut out, because I thought I would save some time. So I've already cut out 3 of the presents. You can cut out any of the 3 presents that you want. After I did this one, I thought this one is a little too muted for me, so I wanted to have a little pop of color. That's why I took the pink one. I got the pink one as well. And the pink one, I'm actually going to kind of tuck in the back, and I'm going to have to cut it down a bit because I've got dimensionals under there now. So I'm going to tuck it in kind of like that. Maybe you trim it down just a little bit more. Okay. And that's going to go in there like that. And I'm going to put a little bit of, oh no, I have these popped up. So I love, and in case you can't figure it out, I love popping stuff up. So I'm going to put a little dimensionals on each of these. Now I'll show you. I have a little trick or tip. So you know how we have the black dimensionals. So if you have a small item like this, and say you could see the dimensional showing. Let me just get out my mint macron. So if you could see the dimensionals kind of from the side, what you can do is you can take your coordinating color for your Stampin' Blends. I do this all the time. And I just color the edge of the dimensional. So that way, if somebody's looking at it from the side, you're not going to see the white show through. Now I know we have the black dimensionals, but on a color like this, you really wouldn't want to have black dimensionals, right? So it doesn't matter too much for this project because you're not going to see it from the side. It's just a little tip if you've ever got some dimensionals that are showing and you want them to blend in a little bit more. And I'm going to put the middle one in first, like that. And then that way I can put the ones on the left and right and have them at the same level. Okay. I don't know if I told you, I've got my pajamas on. That dimensional fell off. I have my pajamas on. These are my least favorite pajamas, folks. I hate to tell you that, but they were the most festive that I had. So, okay. So, and there's the trees, and I'm going to put this present. I'm going to put this present down here, but I'm going to actually flip it the other way, like that. And I'm going to trim it down because again, I've got all those dimensionals there at the bottom now. Like that. Thank God for glue. I love the multi-purpose glue. It's great for projects like this. Okay. There we go. And now the last present is somewhere on my desk. Oh, there it is. I'm going to take this present and I'm going to kind of tuck it underneath this tree, and I'm going to cut it down a bit. I put too much adhesive on here, so I'm going to just release some of the adhesive there. There we go. And I'm going to tuck this present. You know, I don't like that present because it's too tall, and the bow, if I turn it sideways, the bow is going to be sideways. So I'm going to cut this down even a little bit more. Bring that one up a bit. Yep, I'm going to cut it down, trim it down just a little bit more. There we go, like that. So I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow glue in the bottom, and then I'm going to put a dimensional at the top. I know it's really probably hard for you guys to see that, but I'll bring it up to the camera in a second so that you can see it. So to me, it's all about layering and giving it sort of that depth, that look of depth. So there's kind of how I built it, and I need a little bit of, sorry, I took that away too, realized I need a little bit of adhesive right there. Too much adhesive right there. There we go. All right, and now I need to stamp. Who would think we need to stamp? So I'm going to stamp in the Misty Moonlight the sentiment that says, love, love, love. May the love of the season warm your home and fill your heart. And I didn't get my Misty Moonlight out. Okay. Now I only die cut out one of these, so let's keep our fingers crossed that I do a good job of stamping this, because I think this stamp pad needs to be re-inked, but I'll do a test. There we go. Sorry, I'm too close to myself, and there we go. Oh, perfecto. Perfecto. And then this is going to get popped up like that. But let me just wave it in the air a little bit. And again, I'm going to put 3 dimensionals, because I'm going to put one in the middle. I think there's a few of us that like our dimensionals and make sure we have lots on them. And then may the love of the season. Okay, there we go. So there's the base of it. And now we are going to assemble it, but we're not finished yet, because we're going to put some stuff on the outside of the glass as well. So this comes with a child-proof plastic that goes on the top. Take this off. Okay. And so if you don't have an Ikea where you are, you can, oh, Elizabeth, that's on the outside. You can always do something similar, find a frame that you, at a local dollar store or craft store, and do something similar. I just love this because it was like $2.99. And assemble it in like that. And put down all of, oh, I did. I thought maybe I put it in upside down, but I didn't. Okay. All right. Oh, I do a lot of moaning, don't I, guys? Sorry, I just need to release it up a little bit, because I want to tuck one of the snowflakes under the glass. And I need to tuck up, I need to release it a little bit. So I'm taking the wonderful snowflakes and just going to take one of them off. You might have to trim this down a bit. And I'm going to tuck it underneath the plexiglass like that. And you do have to trim it down a little bit. So, oops, I trimmed it down a little too much. Okay, it's going to go on the side. No, actually what I'm going to do, trim it down just a little bit more on that side and that side. And sort of you're pushing in the glass a little bit so that it can tuck underneath. You just have to keep trimming it down so that it sits in there nicely. There we go. So it's just peeking out like that. And then once I'm going to put the prongs down now so it's really nice and secure. So that's that. But we're not done. We're not done yet. I am going to take, because I mentioned before that I like dimension, right? I'm going to take the 3 trees, the little trees, and I'm going to adhere them on the outside of the glass. But I want to make sure that they're all on the same height. So I'm going to put them all together. And I'm just going to trim them like that. So now they're all even size. And, oh, I only need 2. Sorry, I don't need 3, I need 2. And I'm going to put them down. I'm going to trim them down just a little bit more, even yet, again. It's like watching paint dry. And now I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow glue. I'm not going to worry about the stems. Okay. And kind of hold it, because it's on a slick surface, so that it doesn't move until it kind of cures a little bit. And then I do the other one. And we're not done yet, guys. I still have one more thing we want to do. Okay, so there we go. Now it needs bling. So I am going to take some of my rhinestones, and I am going to put rhinestones on the glass on the outside, so it has a whole slew of dimension happening. And just in between sort of the branches and the garland, whatever tinsel, whatever that thing is supposed to be. And you're just going to put a whole bunch of rhinestones on there. And if you wanted to, you could actually put on, use the red from the dies if you wanted to. There are these red, the little baubles here. You could actually die cut those out in the red, foil paper, and it would look really pretty too. But I think they might be a little too big, or you could use the red rhinestones. I just loved the silver and the bling. So there you go. So that is it. And actually, even though I was missing one of them, you can't tell. Yeah, it turned out identical. So what do you think? I hope you guys liked it. I really, really loved it. And I think someone might be getting this for Christmas, or might be go on my desk. That's it. It'll go on my desk at work. So you can play with it. I just love this blue background. It just kind of, to me, it screams. It looked like it needed to be framed. So that's it. And Christy's up next, and I'm not sure if she's coming on earlier or not, because I came on an hour earlier, so I'm not sure if she's going to be able to as well. So thank you so much for joining us all for this event, and I hope that you're inspired. And remember to contact the demonstrator that invited you, because to make sure you are on their mailing list, because catalogs are coming out, so you want to make sure you're on their mailing list so that you get a copy of the catalog. Thanks for joining me tonight, and have a great weekend. Take care.